Wrestling has more than one royal family.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to Wrestling Crossroads. As always, I am one half your dynamic duo, Twisted, here today alongside Hex.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us and for stepping in for Brother Pyro.
I still miss him.
Yeah, we all do. I mean, we're kind of still at a leave of absence, unfortunately.
I still haven't gotten a bear hug. It's been so long.
Oh. I know. We all miss Brother Pyro. And today we are recapping King and Queen of the Ring, coming to us from Saudi Arabia.
It's a pretty royal place for a pretty royal event.
Mm-hmm.
So you think of Saudi, I think of a palace, a beautiful palace, kind of like a la Aladdin when I was a kid.
Yep, totally. I agree with you. So overall, what did you kind of think about this pay-per-view?
Not the most exciting, but not the most boring of the past year.
I totally agree. I want to point out that I don't remember which match this was. I believe... correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was the Randy Orton match further on in the night where they were singing his song, and you heard Michael Cole on commentary say, when we went to France in Lyon, they, might have started something with everything overseas because now the people are really getting more into it. They're singing the songs. They're starting to feel the emotion a bit more.
Mm-hmm, especially Orton.
Yeah.
They've really been popping off for Orton, specifically.
Yeah, that's been amazing. And for him to have this in his last, couple of years, we don't know how much longer we have with him, but for him to have this in the time that we have left with him is really amazing.
There's been a few interesting things just, within the past couple months that have just been, changing and making things interesting, so.
Yeah.
Like Firefly showing up for Jey Uso. Now he's calling himself the Yeeter of Worlds.
I mean, that works perfectly, and he actually did get permission from JoJo, so.
Which made my heart melt even more. I'm like, that's just beautiful.
Yes, definitely. So thank you, JoJo, for that. Getting started, do you want to start, or do you care if I do?
You go ahead.
All right. Starting off, we started with the Women's World Championship. Becky Lynch defended her title against Liv Morgan, who is on her revenge tour.
Oh, yes, that wonderful revenge tour. That girl is vindictive. I love it.
I gotta say, I loved Becky's outfit. I loved the tailored coat and everything. It was real nice.
Me and Cauldron were laughing about that.
Were you?
We're laughing. Heck yeah, she came out in a suit.
Yeah, I loved it. It was beautiful.
Oh yeah, us too.
The only thing that I didn't like was Liv's outfit because it just felt like a repeat from the Elimination Chamber in Saudi the last time.
I don't remember what hers looked like last time, so I'll take your word for it.
All red Britney Spears-esque look.
Oh, catsuit-esque.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, unfortunately, I thought she was going to go with something a little different. I thought we were going to maybe have, a bodysuit and her usual, short skirt on the outside. I would have gone for that.
Something that went along the lines of her revenge tour look that she's had going
Yes, on. Right. Yeah. But no, this wasn't...
Pretty average catsuit.
Yeah, unfortunately. With this match, it felt very quick. It was over very quickly.
Yeah. It did feel kind of like the quickest match that I've seen of the night.
Not much memorable moments aside from towards the end. Mm-hmm. We see Becky put in the disarmor. And who shows up out of the crowd other than Dirty Dominic Mysterio?
Who had actually confronted her during an interview during the pre-show. And she had asked him, what are you doing here? And he specifically said, I'm here to make sure you don't get your hands on Mommy's title.
Well, there.
He showed up.
And he didn't run a bit of interference at first. There was kind of a moment where Becky did take her eye off the ball and from a manhandle slam was hit with a code breaker. 1-2. Liv did not counter that, or did not capture the win on that. And then Dom slid a steel chair into the ring for Becky, which was very strange because you don't usually see Dom helping anybody.
He looked awkward doing it, too. He almost felt like he was going to still get in trouble for helping someone who wasn't Rhea Ripley.
Yes. So then Becky's telling him, I don't want you here. I don't need you here. Take this. I'm done. I don't want to use it. Well, Liv is distracting the ref. Or Dom was distracting the ref. Liv ended up dropping Becky onto the chair and hitting Oblivion off the ropes. Your new Women's World Champion, Liv Morgan, completes her revenge tour.
I wish I could see, I didn't see the backfire coming, but nothing seems to be working well for the members of the Judgment Day other than Damian Priest.
I do agree, but, you know, does this mark the end of the revenge tour, or is she going to go farther and insert herself into Judgment Day, take Dominic Mysterio? What do you think is going to happen?
I don't think she's done yet. I think definitely she's after Dominic Mysterio because she's after everything. For Rhea, and that includes her Latino heat, in my opinion, and even Judgment Day.
Yeah,
she could find her way to weasel her way in. She's this sweet-looking girl. She's got that devious side that Judgment Day has.
Yes.
Who's to say she doesn't weasel her way in there, kind of like Carlito tries to?
I mean, you're right on that, and there have been, the last couple weeks, there's been meetings, obviously, between her and Dominic. We've caught them leaving the same room. We've caught her and Finn together. And you were even mentioning before we got on the podcast about the pictures.
Yep, the pictures that she had posted, and someone had pointed out that there was a purple bandana sticking out of one of the pockets of her shorts.
And purple is very well known of a color for Judgment Day.
For Dominic's bandana he was wearing earlier in that day specifically.
Ooh. So, I mean, something could be cooking
Some
up there.
people are putting that together, which...
I mean, we are too, though. Yeah.
Could be part of the revenge tour scheme. So
yeah, I mean, we don't know how much longer Mommy has out. Maybe we see her for a bit on Monday. We never know. Or maybe he gets a tongue lashing from Balor.
Certainly doesn't feel right without Rhea there.
It doesn't.
It seems like she was the glue holding it all together.
You could definitely tell she was, and now that she's not there, they're kind of scrambling around. They're trying to find something.
Dominic's looking like a bird with a lost wing there with it in that sling.
Oh, yeah. And the dirty Sanchez mustache that he's got going on. Ugh.
Yeah.
His little baby
it's
porn
very
stash.
clear he's trying to embody the legacy of Eddie Guerrero.
Yep.
Rest in peace.
Yes.
Never be another Eddie.
There will never be, no. All right, well, take us into our next match.
All right, our next match was for the Intercontinental Championship, and it was Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable versus Big Bronson Reed, with our winner ultimately being Sami Zayn. I'm not necessarily shocked myself, although I did think this was probably the most boring match of the night aside from Otis interference. Which was intriguing.
I'm very, very curious to see where they're going to go with this next. And I do agree this was kind of you couldn't really tell if this was supposed to be a slow-paced match or a fast-paced match. There was
a little all over the place.
Yeah. It didn't really seem like there was much... I mean, I know these men can all work. There's different styles. And Desario had mentioned that for the pre-show. That it's beautiful, different styles. These men can always work with different people. And you have all three different fighting styles in the ring. But I think that the chemistry between these three men was very off. And who knows, Pyro may agree with me or not. Desario may agree with me or not, but that's the way I feel about it. I do see that. I do want to point out there was one awesome moment aside from Otis's interference. Chad Gable suplexing Sami Zayn and Big
That
Bronson
was
Reed.
incredibly impressive. I remember, my jaw dropped.
That was
holy
700
Batman.
pounds, right? Yeah.
A lot of weight, and that's impressive for someone of the size of Chad Gable. Granted, we've seen him do some incredible things, but no one thought this.
Yeah, definitely. All right, going into our next match, we have the Queen of the Ring Finals. Lyra Valkyria takes on Nia Jax. And before this match even started, when we were kind of getting that look into how we got here, Wade Barrett was kind of our commentator for that. And he had said that this is a David and Goliath-esque type thing, you know?
Lyra is indeed very small.
Compared to Nia Jax, definitely.
Absolutely.
Beginning of this match, it took a while, Lyra didn't have any strength advantage. That's all Nia. Didn't have the size advantage. Again, all Nia. So she had to play a game of cat and mouse. And one of the things that I remember Michael Cole saying on commentary was, piss Nia Jax off. And if you do, she's gonna mess up. And there were times where Lyra got the upper hand, but it didn't feel like they worked very well together. There was no chemistry.
Lyra was at several disadvantages, one of which being I don't remember who said it, but someone said Lyra has been here for a cup of coffee. She's barely been here, and she had to face someone like Nia Jax, who she's never faced before.
I believe it was Corey Graves. That kind of sounds more like a Corey Graves thing.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, no. And, it was beautiful to see Lyra shine, but
she was not scared of Nia, and that was wonderful.
Not. Yes, no, that was amazing. But ultimately picking up the win, our new Queen of the Ring, Nia Jax. And I want to talk about the ending with you because we mentioned this before the podcast.
Yeah.
That sit-down slam that
squash.
That Nia does. Yeah, that squash at the end.
Squash.
Lyra had her at the ropes and was looking for a slam off the ropes, but it looked like it might have been a misslip, a miscalculation, and Nia kind of came down and did the squash.
It looked like a slip-up.
Yeah. So,
it looked sloppy. It looked like an accidental thing instead of maybe what was supposed to happen there, which hopefully Lyra is doing okay, because like we said, she is tiny and Nia is on the bigger side.
On the bigger side, yeah.
And that all that weight crushing down on those ribs, man. Those ribs are tiny in comparison to the weight coming down on that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, we said, we hope that, that Lyra Valkyria is okay, and now Nia Jax will be challenging Bayley for her championship come SummerSlam. Oh, yeah. We'll definitely have you on the podcast for that one.
Build up some strength, Bayley. You're going to need it.
Oh, definitely. But, Bayley has been around longer than Nia. She's the veteran in this one. So I think Bayley kind of has something up her sleeve.
I have no worries about that match when it comes to Bayley being the veteran.
Yeah.
So
no. Right, take us into our next match, our King of the Ring.
All right, our King of the Ring final match was Randy Orton versus Gunther, which the crowd definitely were singing Randy Orton's song, just like in France, and it was beautiful, and they let it play on for a while because the crowd was enjoying themselves. Let them have fun, like that one time Seth Rollins was serenaded for 12 minutes.
Yep,
just let them have fun.
Yeah, just let them have at it, man.
But the winner of that match, ultimately in the end, was Gunther, our now King General.
Yes.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Let's talk into this match. Let's get a bit into it. We did see once Randy hit the first RKO, it didn't really catch much of it. You saw kind of an injury be exploited.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the back at first, but it was the knee. And then what does Gunther do? What is he good at? Exploiting more of an injury.
Oh, yeah, he's sadistic in that way. He likes to torture his victims, quote unquote, in that squared circle.
See, this is... I've been watching Gunther, however you actually want to pronounce it, since he had his days as Walter way back in NXT UK. I watched the start of the 870-day title reign that he had. And we're seeing a very different side to him. It was more technical in the ring then. Now it's about making your opponents feel your pain and just excruciating pain onto them. You saw that a lot more at WrestleMania, given the match with Sami Zayn. He was laughing about it. He was essentially setting up to torture. And so this is like a different side of him that we're seeing. It's a little bit more sadistic, like you had said. But going into the match, obviously a bit more, with Gunther exploiting this injury, Randy has to counter. How does he counter? Drops him on his back a couple times on the announce table. Only way you can do it, get the big man off his feet, get the big man with his back hurting, because what is Randy Orton's best move? RKO, you're straight on your back.
Crowd was chanting for it from the beginning.
Yes.
They wanted to see that RKO hit.
We went for a second one. Didn't necessarily get all of it. No. And then we went for a third. And at that time, the injury had been overly exploited, and Randy actually had to pin with his leg up, unfortunately.
Yeah, poor Randy.
I feel so bad for him and the pain he must have been going through, but Gunther did capitalize on that. However, Randy's shoulder was completely up.
Yep, me and Cauldron were shouting profanities across the house, saying that it was crap.
Yeah, it was.
And even the ring announcers were like, we're going to have to see a different camera angle of that one. And it's like, after one, his other shoulder was up, so that didn't... We were left scratching our heads at that one.
It could have been, just a call from the back saying, let Gunther take it because of the injuries. But who knows where that could have gone. I really wanted Randy to win because this was the one thing that he needed to have literally everything.
Yeah.
Checked off the boxes.
Felt like it should have been his, for sure.
I mean, Gunther would have had numerous chances for this. Mm-hmm. And then after this match, I want to talk about what was announced. Mm-hmm. Clash at the Castle in Glasgow, Scotland. Drew McIntyre has been cleared for competition.
Yep.
He takes on Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Which I find funny, since I don't think he's had his qualm with CM Punk, who he's been nonstop talking about, almost like a fangirl. You know, he's CM Punk's biggest fan right now. He's the reason that he's everywhere right now. Probably the reason why his merch is selling so well too.
Exactly.
Keeps tweeting about him.
Exactly.
I'm bored at work.
But I gotta say this. Me and Flash talked about it.
Yeah.
If you look at where we're having this, and this, correct me if I'm wrong, this is totally pyro just spewing out of my mouth. If you look at where we're having this, Glasgow, Scotland, Drew has to win. This is his home crowd. Okay, so now you take the title with him. You go on to SummerSlam. Who's challenging for that title? Gunther. Now you have to have Gunther win it. Gunther wins the title at SummerSlam. Gunther becomes the championship. Gunther goes into the next year Mania as the champion. Because why do you have him drop it even anytime after SummerSlam? He goes into Mania next year as champion. And who do you put him up against? Sheamus. Who do you put Gunther up against? You set up Sheamus.
Sheamus hasn't had that title. Sheamus, that's one more thing he needs to check off his list.
He also needs the IC title. But you have Sheamus. Go for it. Totally. Because those men put on banger matches. And then what you do is at Mania, you cultivate the Drew McIntyre CM Punk story. Because you don't need a title for that. And they've already announced there will not be a title in that feud.
Okay.
That's what you do. That's how you culminate that. And tell me, totally, pyro just spewing out.
I think you're spending too much time with Pyro.
I ain't spending enough time with my brother. I miss him. Anyways.
Come back!
Final match of the night, our main event. We have the undisputed WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes defends against the Maverick, the U.S. champion, Logan Paul.
Kid.
Now, originally, Logan's title was supposed to be on the line, but due to some lawful technical difficulties...
In other words, a scared Logan Paul.
Yep. He pulled that from under us, and we just got Cody's title on the line. Now, this match was actually fairly beautiful.
It was a nice match.
They told the story. Cody told the story of, I need to make this kid feel what he needs to feel. I need him to respect this sport.
Mm-hmm. Although, like him or hate him, I don't think I've been disappointed in the Logan Paul match since he came in, which is great for him, actually.
Yeah, definitely. And then, like Pyro says it 1,000,001 times till he's blue in the face, Logan Paul brings in the casual fan. You're going to watch because Logan Paul is having a match, which means we're going to get more ratings, which means we're going to sell more merch because you want a Logan Paul t-shirt.
I know, me and him were the same in that because I remember, I don't know if I was with you guys or if I was watching the Cauldron at home, where I was like, as soon as I saw him, I'm like, he'd be good for business.
Yep, definitely.
Even though I despise who he is as a human being, I think he's disrespectful and
he can be disrespectful, yes, but he's
a phenomenal athlete. Let's give him his flowers where he needs it. He's a great athlete.
Yes, definitely.
I'd like to see him try to do it without some help or some mix, though. I'd like to see what he can do by himself without help.
Yeah, definitely. So going into this match, they tell their story. We get a bit further into it, and it starts to spew to the outside. We get Logan Paul getting a crossroads on the announce table. We see one of Logan Paul's lackeys hand in another set of brass knuckles, which he takes to Cody Rhodes' stomach.
We were so shocked that came into play again. Come on now.
Right. And then there's a moment where, and I believe it was after the crossroads on the announce table, where Cody gets into the ring. The ref is counting. The ref is at 9, and Cody stops him. He goes, don't count him out, don't count him out. I need to teach him a lesson he needs to learn. And everybody thought, even the announce team, Cody screwed himself. Totally.
That was a wild move coming from Cody Rhodes. I certainly was like, whoa, that was out of left field.
I, watching Cody as long as I have, I definitely can tell that he has matured in what he is doing. Because younger Cody Rhodes would have taken that count out victory.
I remember dashing Cody Rhodes from when I was younger and watching it in secret, so my mom wouldn't get mad that I was watching it.
I mean, hey.
I remember dashing
dashing Cody Rhodes would have taken the W.
He was good at that role.
With the 10.
He was so good at that role.
He was.
It was cringy, but he was so good at it.
So he stops the ref count. We go, and now we're in the final couple minutes. Logan Paul takes out Cody for a bit, puts him on the announce table, and here comes Logan Paul off the top rope, hitting a frog splash onto Cody Rhodes through an announce table. Finally, one breaks. We get Logan Paul and Cody Rhodes back into the ring, and Logan presents the brass knuckles again. Only this time, as he's going to hit Cody with it because the ref is down, which ended up happening as they got back into the ring. The special guest ring announcer, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name.
I don't even remember his name, so I'm not going to try either.
I don't feel like butchering it on live. Anyways, special guest ring announcer steps up, grabs Logan, and pardon my French as you hear this, Logan Paul looks at him and says, "Who the hell are you?" He turns to Cody, goes to punch him, and he goes, "I'm Cody Rhodes, bitch." It was a beautiful moment, something I absolutely love. Cody hits 3 crossroads. 1, 2, 3, still your champion, Cody Rhodes. So congratulations to him.
You know what another beautiful moment was in that match? When Logan Paul went and grabbed those brass knucks from the Goonies, Michael Cole throwing a hissy, "You promised!"
Yep.
And then called him a loser, which distracted Logan Paul enough for Cody Rhodes to recover a little from the initial undercut jab with the brass knucks that Logan delivered to him after.
I want to point out, now that you mentioned that part, that Logan Paul was getting ready to get into the face of Michael Cole, and Corey Graves stood up. I don't know if you remember, if you would at all.
Probably not, but go ahead.
Corey Graves used to wrestle in NXT.
I remember he used to wrestle. I did not remember.
He was in NXT. He won the tag titles for for a little bit. I can't remember who his partner was. I believe it was Neville. Part of me wants to say it was. But he won the tag titles, and then he had to kind of take a step away due to injury. But he's been training in the ring.
I saw something about that.
Yeah, he's been training. So what if that's a setup? That would be a beautiful match.
I think
honestly,
it was.
And I'm waiting there, I'm watching this, and I go, please, wrestling gods, please. Corey Graves versus Logan Paul. You know, Logan gets on TV and says, "You interrupted my match. I would have won if you didn't get in my face. I could have taken out Michael Cole, and you decided to stop me." Boom, bam, you got a match.
Man,
Totally.
though. That was great. That was a great way to end it.
Yeah, I mean, overall, pretty mediocre, but then again, we're not looking at a big 4, but still, for this type of match set off, it was a little mediocre, I would say.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that concludes today's podcast. We are all done talking about King and Queen of the Ring, and we will come back to you tomorrow with AEW's Double or Nothing, correct?
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, Pyro will still be on his leave of absence. We are not sure here at Wrestling Crossroads when he will be coming back, but we love to have Hex, Flash, and maybe even Desario available at one time or another to come in and help us. We thank you for coming on and helping.
Absolutely. You know I'm available pretty much whenever. Providing my car doesn't go...
Yep. I mean... We all want Brother Pyro back, but it's nice to
Brother
hear
Pyro.
It's
Hex
nice.
misses you.
It's nice to hear the other voices too, you know?
I'm a voice.
All right, guys, and with that, we are out.
Laters.